Oh, so I woke up kind of early today, and I decided to knock a movie off my watch list. It's been on there for quite some time. 12 Angry Men. Okay, so first I want to. After reading the synopsis of this movie, it's saying that uh, it's the story of 12 jurors deliberating on whether or not 18-year-old uh, Puerto Rican kid committed murder of his own father. First, I have to say the kid looks like he's 16 and like Italian or Greek or something like that. But that just may be that just may be due to uh, the difference in time because this takes place in the and this takes place in the 50s and it's 2021. Yeah, it's 2021. So the way a individual dressed and appeared back then compared to now is probably completely different, and it's completely different from how a Puerto Rican or yeah, a Puerto Rican would look even when I was coming up. Okay, so now that that's out the way, I wrote down. I tried to write down what all the jurors like, kind of like the personalities that I see in them. So eight, eight. I think personally, eight is somebody I wish I could be all the time. Um, Initially, juror number eight is the only one who gives a not guilty, who says he's not guilty. But his reasoning behind it is he just wants to know for sure that this kid did it. So I mean, he's gonna go over every detail, which I think a lot of people, well, I would want to do that. Not just in a murder case, but I would want to do that in everything. And I think that's probably my downfall is um, overthinking things and just taking it too far. When a lot of times you need to be more loose and just go with the flow. Okay. Now number five, they are out of order, but I'm assure you I wrote down all of them. I feel like number five is somebody that I probably can. Number five, I could probably more closely agree with, not agree with, relate to. Uh, it comes out later on in the movie that he grew up in pretty much the same situation uh, as the 18-year-old kid that you're talking about. Poor, seeing a lot of horrible things, and uh, coming out the mud, as a lot of rappers like to say. Um, I don't necessarily like I said a million times. I'm not necessarily a thug or anything like that. It's just I did grow up in a pretty poor area, so I can associate with that. Am I using that word correctly? I never know if I'm using words correctly. I really need to like think out everything I say before I say it. Wow, that's a horrible way to live life, isn't it? No. So what was it? Number five. Yeah, I feel for that character more than anything. Number three. Let me see here. Uh, oh, number three. He probably delivers one of the best performances out of all the jurors because he's affected by his relationship with his own son and the fact that they're dealing with a murder case where a son has murdered his father. He feels like his son has murdered him in a way, but not physically. Um, Feels like because they've fallen out, and he says he hasn't seen him for 2 years, so he's angry about that, obviously, and he wants to get revenge for that, but he can't reach out and touch his son, so he might as well put that anger out onto this kid, which isn't right, but I think that's where that juror is coming from. At least that's what I pull from that. Um, Number 9. Oh, I like this. I would hope to be like this character. So this is an older guy. But his attention to detail is pretty amazing. I mean, the little details that he remembered from the trial helps sway everybody's opinion in the end. I would love to be like that in life. Not necessarily swaying people's opinions, but just being able to remember certain details that can be beneficial to me in so many different aspects of my life, I think. Okay, and then number 11. Oh, well, number 11, I think he's probably the calmest personality out of everybody, right? He's he makes the actor makes it clear that he's an immigrant. So my 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 interaction and how should I put this? The way I view immigrants is I put them a little bit higher than Americans for this one reason. They usually come from really rough backgrounds, meaning, you know, so everybody has a different uh, level of normal and level of poor, or whatever you want to call it. Most of the time, an immigrant's um, idea of living good would probably be considered below uh, poor in America. With that being said, tends to give them a much better outlook and harder work ethic because I mean I think this was the purpose of the movie to try and at least start a conversation about race and economic status and country of origin. I mean, I think that was the purpose of this movie to try and at least talk about those subjects. And uh, number 11, I think, illustrates that the best. Maybe I'm digging too deep into it, but I feel like that character, you know, I've seen so many success stories when it comes to immigrants coming here and they build themselves up from nothing because they're able to see it from a different perspective. Having that ability to walk outside of something and see it from a different angle can skyrocket you to the top of any industry, I think. Because it's like having bad habits. So you've been taught to do something or that something, think that the operations involved in completing a task are the only operations and that you need to complete that task. But being on the outside looking in, you can see a different way to complete it. That's basically what I was trying to get at. Maybe I just went off into a little a bit of a tangent. Okay. Oh, number 6. I like this guy. He's pretty quiet. This juror is pretty quiet through the whole thing, but man, when he stands up, he stands up. I mean, he's a no nonsense type of guy. He's willing to knock somebody out, and watch your tone of voice. But he also brings something that I saw my father for quite some years. Hardworking. I think normal, run of the mill, hardworking guy who takes care of his family. That's all you can ask for. 12. Oh, 12. I think he was probably one of the most memorable jurors, because he's actually pretty funny, and he's in advertising. That's the only guy I remember his profession. That was he's just I guess charismatic is the right word. Uh, two. I think the reality of it is I think I'm more like two, the second juror than any one of them. He's a bit of a pushover, but he can stand up for himself when he absolutely has to, and his opinion uh, is pretty valid. But people keep using him as a doorstep. Uh, Number 10. It's hard to put to words what this character really is, because he's one of the older jurors, but he can't. It's a really odd scene where he's just like he gets a chance to he basically flies off the handle, but not in an angry way. He's going off about this and that, and all he's doing is like he's not making any sense what he's saying. He's you can't trust these type of people. These type of people deserve to die. You kill each other off, this and that. Like, where's that coming from? Everybody pretty much is like, I don't want to have nothing to do with you, and they turn their back on him, which I think is such a necessary. It's such a necessary scene because why aren't more movies like this made? That's the thing about. That's the thing I'm so puzzled about. Such a good movie because it touches on so many different topics, man. I mean, this guy is just full of hate, full of hate, and it actually comes from no place, believe it or not. Just old guy stuck in his ways. Really interesting. Really interesting. Seven. Oh, now Seven is probably my least favorite juror of them all. Now the whole time he's complaining about going to a baseball game and what team do you like and trying to make jokes, but they're not really funny. This type of guy who's I wouldn't call him a waste of space. Maybe he's beneficial to somebody out there in the world, but this type of person I really wouldn't be able to get along with. Somebody who's only concerned with uh, the latest thing, the fads, and that's what I associate this guy with. I hope this was a decent overview of the movie. I spent a lot of time just breaking down each one of the characters, but I didn't really say what the. I think the movie's just worth a watch because I think it's up for interpretation. It's the type of movie that's it has to be up to the individual to interpret what they feel, what they think about this movie. You can't just watch somebody on YouTube and say, "Oh, I think I like it now," which is so odd if you watch the movie. But anyway, oh, another thing. If you like this movie, or not movie, if you like this video, check out some more of my other ones.